Okay, welcome everybody. This is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifter by a drifter. Sorry again for the mix-up on YouTube with the live stream there. Just goodness knows what the hell is going on. I am trying to sort out all my technical issues. However, I think by this week I should have things sorted out. So it should be a hell of a lot better. The stream will be a lot better looking, a lot more consistent. It will be in a much better space. And hopefully I won't be having all of these funky issues. Hey Perry, how you doing, man? Jeez, I think after this stream, I'm really gonna need your help, Perry, just to fix up my streaming issues. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So how's the audio? Can you guys hear me? To be fair, I don't know why I'm using the the headphones. It's not like I can. It's not like I can't hear myself speak, but I don't know. It feels kind of nice. So we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, dude. Uh, hey guys, hey Chris. Jeez, that was such a mix-up on YouTube. All I tried to do was just share the link onto Facebook, and everything went haywire. Absolutely everything went haywire. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But nonetheless, we're gonna still make this a great show for everybody, and I hope you guys gonna enjoy today's episode because I got a few very interesting talking points, and it just over the last week having some conversations with a few guys, and also reading some of the info out on the Facebook groups as well. I picked up some pretty interesting stuff, and in between all of that, uh, I mentioned to my Kamodi group this little expression that we have in one of our indigenous South African languages. Yeah, it's the language is called Zulu. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you've heard of the people, but not the necessarily the language. So there's a little expression there that I used with the guys there, and I explained to them what it means, and it they just started rolling with it, and it's pretty cool. Hey Bob, thanks for joining in, man. Really appreciate it. And for all those who are not familiar with my show, this is the B Rock RC show, and it's a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter, where we talk about everything RC drifting from around the world. So I hope you guys will enjoy the show. Join me for a little while and get to know me a little bit better and get to know what RC drifting is all about. So one of the things we want to talk about, the first thing I want to talk about actually is regarding the D5, the three racing Sakura D5. I don't think I've mentioned anything about it in my previous episodes. Maybe sometime during season one, I may have spoken briefly about the D5. I can't quite remember. I need to go back in my notes and see if we ever had that conversation. But uh, what I do want to talk about with the D5 is I think it was last week I made a post. Hey Vav, thanks for joining in, buddy. Appreciate it, man. So last week I posted up another picture or an older picture of one of the early renderings from 3 Racing, in which they were still in development for the Sakura D5. Now, I must say that it was a very exciting pre-production design, where it had a lot of similarities to some major brands that we already know, like Overdose and Wrap Up Next. So, with the Overdose being the IFS system, now I do understand that the IFS system was developed a long time ago, and it's only, I'd say, fairly recently that other brands have been adopting that same style of uh, shock layout and suspension system. But it's nice to see that all brands are starting to develop it. So I mean that says something about it. That means it's probably working well, you know. And then also with regards to the motor layout, it had a lot of similarities with the Wrap Up Next. In particular, I think it's one of the Kenbro or the Nervous layouts, where the motor position is, I hope I'm using the right word, laterally placed, and and in a high position, so giving it some high center of gravity, and that really got people, the drift world, like very interested, very keen. I'm definitely one of them. In fact, I'm still interested in a D5, although I won't necessarily like go out of my way to get one of them just yet. But if I do happen to come across it and it fits in with my project list, I suppose, then I may get one and give some feedback on that. So far, the D5 is proving to be quite a good chassis for its price. And I think everybody who's driving one really likes it. I've seen some guys doing some minor upgrades, adding in parts from other manufacturers, and they are loving it. So I think it's a really good move for every beginner. I think it's fantastic for you to try out if you want to get into rear-wheel drive without breaking the bank. That's a perfect starter chassis. So again, going back to the pre-production design versus the post-production design, uh, it's very interesting to see how they changed the whole design once they went into production. And I did try and speak to Jackie Lau from Three Racing. At first, I couldn't get in contact with him, but that's probably because they were celebrating the Chinese New Year. So it just so happens that today I sent him a message and he managed to reply. So I didn't want to push him too much for any info, and I'd say about a three-quarter of the info that he's given me, I've been asked not to share because they still want to do their announcements and whatever it is. So I will respect that, and I won't touch on those other questions and info that he's so generously allowed me to have. But one of the things I did ask him was regarding the pre-production design versus the post-production design. Like, what happened in between? Why was there such a change in the design of the production? So, what he had to say was that uh, when it comes to design and production, along the way, changes will happen uh, depending on the production process, what they're able to produce and what not, what they can't produce, which is why we see the change in the production version, the final version that we are getting now. And then so it's understandable. I'm sure that those who are more technically adept and who know these manufacturing processes will understand what he means by that. um, I have a general idea, so I kind of get why he says that. And then with regards to the whole rear end and the motor position and why it changed to an RR, so he says, sometimes the design changes a pre-production due to the market. So what's happening in the market, what's in, what's hot, what's right now. And that made complete sense because uh, I think at the moment the RR, the rear motor layout is the current or at the time of production was the current trend. And I'd say to some extent it still is the current trend. Um, I, for one, have tried it out a little bit, and I must admit that I didn't like it. I didn't like the RR layout. Perhaps it's because I didn't give it enough time. I didn't give it my full focus and attention. But maybe I was expecting a little bit too much out of it straight out the gate. I should have spent more time tuning it and adjusting it, and then running it to make a fair assessment. But I didn't. To be honest, my chassis layout, the way it was running with the high motor mount and the high CG, yeah, I was just loving it at the moment, and I was trying to develop my driver skill more. So that worked out for me perfectly, and the RR just threw a whole spanner in the works. So I didn't like it. But perhaps later on I might give it another shot and see. So Wolf says, like me, don't like it that much. Yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't suit everybody's style. So I'd like to boil it down to that. Put it down to it just doesn't fit my style. But again, like I said, perhaps I didn't give it enough time. So I think with drifting and perhaps things other than drifting, you have to give something a full chance in order to make a proper and fair assessment. So I think that's something to remember in whatever we do. If you're going to try something new out, give it your full attention and go all out in it, uh, obviously within reason. And then see if that thing suits you, whether you like it or not, and then take it from there. So coming back to the next part of my show today was, as I mentioned earlier, there was this little expression that I used with my boys at the team, and I will I will tell you what that is now. I have been using it in a few of the groups. Some of you may have seen it, uh, but you'll know. Let's see. Okay, so Vivian says RR is very setup sensitive. If you don't nail the setup, you won't enjoy it. And I think that actually does apply to me and what I've done when trying out the RR, and and perhaps it's like I said, I didn't give it its full attention in order to make a fair assessment and then say, well, I don't like RR. I think one of the things I didn't like about it was that it was so rear heavy. And again, like I said, I didn't give it its full attention. So Vivian makes a very valid point there. Uh, if you don't set it up properly, you won't enjoy it. Okay, so Wolf says, I still run my YD2R, but my favorite is my Fantasy high motor, low battery. Nice, very, very nice. I guess trying out everything, you'll find certain layouts or certain setups that will just suit the way you run things. That will just suit your driving style, and it'll just feel natural to you. I know Vivian personally, so which is why I'm gonna say what I'm what I'm going to say. Vivian is very technically uh, good, and his adaptability is crazy. So he can switch from CS to rear wheel drive like that. But obviously now with CS sort of taking a nosedive, we've all been concentrating more on rear wheel drive. But now he drives a normal layout and the RR, and he can switch between the two, and it's still mind blowing. I don't know how you guys do that. I'd love for some of that skills to rub off me. So maybe I can join in the fun. But for the moment, I'm really enjoying the layout. I think it's competitive. I'm able to be competitive. I'm able to control it, so it's pretty cool. Okay, so Bob says Seb found the RR a bit like a pendulum. If setup not perfect, harder to control in corner entry and mid corner, but fast on the exit. Yeah, I think that's exactly what Viv was saying as well, that it has to be set up properly. So perhaps I should give it another try and focus on getting it right, and perhaps that'll help me become a better driver. Also become a little sharpen my technical skills and my setup skills. So I mean that makes a lot of sense. Also, for the guys that don't know, Bob and Seb is Bob's son, and this father and son pair are like two peas in a pod, and they both support each other a hell of a lot. They really are two, in my opinion, two giants in the RC drift community, and they are amongst the many others who help keep RC drifting alive in the global arena. So and I must thank you for always joining into the show. Really appreciate it. For the guys that just joined in and don't know who I am Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. So back to my to take a break from all the technical stuff that we've been talking about. So this expression that I've started coining, and I mean, that's not fair to say that I coined an expression in somebody else's language, but it's an expression that's used throughout South Africa. Everybody knows it, and it's not just a word. It's also a feeling, an emotion, and it has so many different uh, meanings in all the different contexts that you come across. So the word is HAIBO. Try saying that. HAIBO. That's how it's pronounced. The word is HAIBO. So so there was a crazy post on I think it was a worldwide RC group, or one of the groups, and it was this madness of a post, and I was so taken aback by it that I typed in the comment HAIBO, like what is going on. So then I went back to my guys, and I explained to them that, you know what, I put this comment out, but this is what it means. It's a Zulu word, and it's an expression used to describe like absolute bewilderment, like you can't believe it, like a WTF moment. That's what HAIBO is. So HAIBO, what is going on? So you got to use it in the right context as well, but you can use it throughout. So whenever we come across a crazy post, you start off with HAIBO. What is this guy saying? It's absolute rubbish, that kind of thing. So use it, don't use it. It's a fun word, and it perfectly describes that moment where you come across something so over the top and so crazy that you have no other words to describe what's going on. So you just say HAIBO, and you make your face like that. You open your eyes out. HAIBO, what is going on? So that's a new word you guys can use from the land of Africa, start a new trend. Exactly, man. It's gonna be crazy. Everybody's gonna be saying "HAIBO, HAIBO." I know the guys, the few guys that I've mentioned it to, yeah, they was start going crazy with it. Jack and Rob and all the other guys. Hey, how's it, Araf? Wassalam. Good to see you joining me, man. Appreciate it, brother. I see a few more people have joined in. For again, I must mention. I know I just mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, but this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. Welcome everybody to my podcast. I'm so glad that you guys have joined in to find out and see what it is that we do in RC drifting. My object for my podcast is to bring the world of RC drifting to the people and engage in fun, light-hearted, meaningful conversations about RC drifting, and just keep it in touch with everybody out there. I think in this really tough time that we have come across with the lockdown and the COVID going around the globe, and many of us have not been able to get to the track and get to RC drifting. We needed we needed certain things, certain little things that people do just to help everybody stay in the hobby, stay motivated, and just keep the hobby alive. So my passion, my love is RC drifting, which is why I did this. I've wanted to do podcasting for quite a while, and then I thought, let me combine the two, podcasting and RC drifting, and voila, we have the B Rock RC Show. So, besides that, I know I've posted a little bit about the new project that I've been working on, which was the Isuzu Billet, and I thought let me show you guys a little bit more. I progressed. Yes, Wolf HAIBO. I progressed a little bit with the shell. I added the bumpers. I've got some SRC mirrors in here. The old school mirrors. Like I said, I added the bumpers. I've got some detailing around the windows. I'm actually using some wrap up next chrome window trimming, window vinyls in there. I'm sure for the guys that use the wrap up next vinyls and decals, you'll know it. For the headlights, I use the lens, the one lenses, and then I added in the standard light buckets that come with the body. So they were textured, so it gives it a little bit more realism and a little bit more depth. And then I did the same for the rear as well. So I'm just gonna pick it up for you guys. I hope it's not gonna be too much in the face. So here it is. Isuzu Bellet. I think the only thing I didn't like about this body was the front here. It's actually not molded very well. The I think the polycarb just, I don't know whether it's the mold or what, but I've got the stickers to hide the imperfections here. And then I also use some the one decal there. I cut out the hole for the light bucket for that indicator there, and then I pushed that through and stuck it in. Looks like there's something missing there. Here in the front. Well, it actually, that's how it comes. That's how it looks. The body comes like that. This light isn't showing the best of the colors here, of how it looks. Maybe if I hold it a little bit further back, the color might look a bit better. So it's not too bad. You see, I added in the chrome vinyl strip in here. You can't see it too well because of the light in the background. But if I If I don't have the light, then you can't see me. I'm not particularly fair, if you notice. So yeah, I finished up the rear window there. You can see I did the light in there. It's not too bad. It could have definitely been a little bit better. Um, yeah, bro. Wolf, I know it looks like there's something missing here, but the bumper is like that. It came it came like that. Even the rear as well. I mean, you would think that that bumper that bumper actually goes in the front, but it's actually that's how it is. So that's my body. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to show you guys. Look, old school mirrors. I think those are very cool. You can get those from SRC. Uh, very nice. You can adjust it as well. I need to speak to Viv about that and ask him how can I make it stand a little bit better. I think I need to heat it up and then bend it the right way. But if you're talking about uh, paint job, this is definitely without a doubt my best work that I've done. I mean, the lower part in the front on the corners. Oh, you mean here? Like I said, dude, that's how it came. I know it looks very odd, but those were the lines. Those were the lines. It's so weird. I know it's so weird, but that's how it is. I mean, it looks like there needs to be a lip of sorts here. Well, actually, that's not such a bad idea. Maybe I could do a lip that would sit right there, and I suppose that would finish it off. Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll cut a piece. I have some the offcuts from the body, so I could use that, fashion a lip. Missing a bumper. I know, Perry, but I'm serious. There's no other parts that come in the front here. And even when I looked at the lines, I made sure I followed the lines, and that was it. The lines went up and around in there. It's crazy. It's so weird. I know, but that's how it is. This body is definitely something different. It's crazy. And then uh, something special, some scale dynamics. I'm gonna hold it a bit far away because the light is causing some glare. But these are the work equips. It's a Pandora body. It's a Pandora. Um, I've never seen that one before. I was lucky. I think that was the last one that Richard at Donsday had, so I grabbed it from him. I wanted to do something different, and I think it was a good choice. Body came out great. These are my wheels that I'm going to use. Some nice old school style wheels in there. I think that's going to be very cool. So yeah, man, that's my little project. Yeah, I waited so long for these, man. I can tell you, they weren't exactly on the cheap side, but for me, it's so worth it, man. These wheels are so legit. It is a 12 mil offset though, so I doubt I'll run these wheels on any of the bodies anytime soon. But maybe for display it'll be perfect. So after posting, I've asked the question like whether guys, like how many of you guys uh, would run a body, a really nice, well done body versus making it a shelf queen. Uh, for this body specifically, I'm a little bit torn. I don't know whether I should run the body or not. A lot of people are saying, "Don't do it, don't do it. It looks too good. Just leave it alone. Just to make it a shelf queen." But I don't know. I built it to drift it. So maybe I drifted once and then put it away. I don't know. I'm still undecided. But I do have a couple other projects out there. So it's going to be interesting. Okay, so what says 12 mil offset equals to 8 on MST wheels as far as I can remember. Okay, well, this does say backspace 10 mil. I don't know whether that means anything. So could it mean that it's actually equal to a 10 mil offset? I know, man. I want to run it, but then I don't want to. I'm a bit caught up. I don't know. Let's see how the E30 project turns out. And then if that one turns out not too bad or not as good as this one, I'll run the E30 and then display this. And then I've got an SX that's coming in a couple of days. And then I also have the 350Z, which I'm keeping for a specific project. And then lastly, one of my prized possessions is the Yokomo Mark X. It was, I think it was like the last one that was around in SA, or I could be wrong, but I think I got the last Yoko Mark X brand new, and I'm so excited about it. I'm actually intending on running the Stay Humble library. I spoke to Kim Grande about that. He was like, "Yeah, dude, go for it." I mean, I love the black, white, and gold livery that he's done on his Mark X. And I asked him, you know what, can I do the same livery? Also, obviously, I won't do the Stay Humble part, but you know, I think that library will be like first class, dude. But I'm so scared of doing that body up. I don't want to mess it up. So yeah, a body that it's been kept away until I'm brave enough to do that body. Let's see. Don't remember that well. I have the first mesh ones and the Watanabe. We'll see. I'll put it on and then let's see. Let's see how well they fit. So yeah, that's my project that I'm busy with. I think I'm almost done with it. I've got some body lines to do. I've got to finish up the front window trim, and let's see what else. I'm thinking of adding the exhaust tips, but I just need to go back and reference the actual car and see what type is there and see what SRC has in stock, and then yeah, and it you know I want to also add some old school lighting in there, so get that old uh, yellow headlight look. I think that'll be cool if I can run some headlights in there. I think that will really add to the effect of this body. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted and let you know what's going on there. Right. You know, the next thing I wanted to talk about was there's a couple guys that's doing some nice stuff for the global community in the form of well, I mean, they give back to the RC community via raffles or waffles, whichever way you want to say it. It's probably the same thing. So these guys put up some prizes of some really nice RC gear, which in fact some of these things like cost in the thousands of dollars or pounds, and and you actually get a chance to win that for a fraction of the cost. So I'm talking about guys like Dale Clements out in the UK who runs ASPO RC, and you know, for the guys that know or the guys that don't know, he runs a raffle maybe once or twice a week. I know he started doing a new mystery box raffle on Wednesdays. So please check out Aspo RC and Dale Clements specifically. He always puts up when he's doing the raffle. and some guys have won some magnificent stuff. Everything from bodies and accessories to high-end electronics like the Futaba 7PXRs, overdose chassis, MSTs, Yokos, Acuvans, electrics, the works. He's included all of these amazing stuff in a raffle, and guys who've maybe bought like one or two tickets have won it. So imagine, I mean, his tickets cost like £2 a hit, and you can take as many tickets as you want. So for £2, you're getting like thousands and thousands worth of stuff, which is crazy. It's ridiculous. And so he also runs, like I said, he also runs Ask for RC, which is also an online hobby shop. So you guys want out in the UK and in the Europe, you guys should support him because he supports the community via these raffles, which are totally worth it, absolutely worth it. Then out in I think he's from the US. Mike Munoz. Did I say your name right, bro? Please let me know. I absolutely hate butchering names. So please, if I said it wrong, please come and correct me with the correct way of saying your name. Mike Munoz, he runs the Ronan Waffles or raffles. I don't know what's the difference. Can somebody please explain to me the difference between a raffle and a waffle? Besides waffle being something that you eat. So please, can somebody just clarify that for me because I have no idea. And that's there's another expression to describe, and it's also a word that means I don't know. So the Zulu language has one word to say that whole sentence. I don't know. So I'm gonna teach you guys that next time. Watch out my profile and watch out in the groups. You'll see me use it. Okay, so I think it's just a joke. FP doesn't like raffles, so they call it a waffle. Uh, yes. Okay, that kind of makes sense because I've heard of people having issues with the raffles and yeah, exactly with the algorithm. That's right, Perry. Thanks for that. Okay, so it's really just a change in a word just to make it different. Ugh. Okay, whatever. Right. So yeah, like I was saying, Mike Munoz, out in the US, who runs the Ronan Waffles. Um, he does. Recently he did a waffle where he put up a Rhino Max version 2 up for grabs. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know that the Rhino Max is usually a limited run of chassis. So that was pretty crazy. And a good friend of mine, Rob Fischeri, he won it. What are the odds? It's crazy. So you guys should try and get in, man. It really is worth it. Entering one of those raffles slash waffles. There's a lot to win for a fraction of the cost. It's also helping the guys that help us, you know. So it's like a win-win almost, but I mean it's pretty cool. I think one of the things that's actually helping the whole community globally keep going is that we support each other. And which brings me to another reminder: local is lekker. Always support your local store before going and online and getting what you need. You may pay a few more extra rands, dollars, pounds, francs, whatever your currency is. You might pay a little bit more, but the effect of what you're doing is that you're not just helping keep the local community going, but you're also keeping that person whose only business it is is RC or hobby shop, you're keeping that man going or that person going. You're keeping his family going, and you are and like I said again, you are contributing to keeping the RC community going. You are I don't want to say duty, but you are contributing to keeping the RC community alive, the RC hobby alive, by supporting your local store, local track, local. You are you are an unsung hero of keeping the RC hobby alive. Don't ever forget that you are a hero in your own way. Like I said, like supporting local. So just remember the hashtag local is lekker, and remember where it came from. South Africa. We coined that term first. Local is lekker. So don't ever forget that. And we will see that this RC hobby keeps on going. So I want to see that you guys are keeping your local tracks alive, keeping your local hobby shops alive, and we definitely going to keep it going for our generations to come. Okay, so Jordan, dude, please forgive me. I'm about to butcher your name. Jordan Munch or Munch. I don't know. I'm so sorry, but forgive me, dude. I'm just gonna call you Jordan. So Jordan runs Scale Science. I think he runs an online store, and he has a track as well. And he also does a podcast, a live munch. Oh, okay. Oh, geez, that's so much easier, dude. Thank you so much, Jordan Munch. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So, like I was saying, Jordan runs Scale Science, which is a online store, and he has a track as well. And he does a really good live stream, usually on a Thursday. So you guys must join in and support Scale Science. He does so many different really nice things, and he's well worth the support. So go out there, support his page, support his all his stuff. And again, like I said, by you supporting locals, you are an unsung hero in my eyes. You are contributing to keeping the hobby alive, and you are worth every shout out and salute. Well done, guys. Keep it up. Just keep it up. And also, I just want to make a special shout out to my boy Young Clooney, uh, who's he was part of Team 420. He is also running a bit of a raffle at the moment for his D-like RER hybrid. Comes with a whole lot of extra parts and spares and whatnot. You can go to his profile and check it out. Young Clooney, Yung Clooney, like George Clooney. Uh, and go check it out. You just need to message him for his PayPal address, and you guys can enter as well. I think it's around 14 euros for a ticket, where you can enter as many times as you like. And if he doesn't sell out the tickets in about 2 weeks, he actually mentioned that he will pay everybody's money back, which I think is a good deal also. And again, at a fraction of the cost, you are able to get yourself a D-like RER hybrid, which I don't even need to tell you guys how good that chassis is. Obviously, it's a completely different driving style and etc. etc. But I think the legend of the D-like RER hybrid is uh, doesn't need any more description than what you guys already know. It's a D-like. That's all you need to know. So go out there and give it a shot, and you never know, you'll be able to own a hybrid as well. So what else do I have to say? Well, there was one more thing. Yes, there was one more very important thing that I did want to discuss with everybody. So I'm sure for the guys that are well into the hobby, or have quite a few years behind them will have been seeing or will be noticing the amount of newcomers that we have now, which is very encouraging. I couldn't be more happy that we're seeing more and more new guys getting into the hobby. But there is one thing that is saddening me or disappointing me a little bit, and it's the amount of effort that these new guys are putting into their RC drifting. I think they a lot of them are reverting back to the older guys who would pick up an all-wheel drive chassis, charge a battery, slap on some drift tires, and out they go. They're able to, or they just slide away, they power slide away, drift away, whichever term you prefer, and and call it a day, and that was it. And as we all know, CS is just about dead, all-wheel drive even more. So everybody's onto rear-wheel drive. So the question that comes up a lot is, what's the best beginner chassis to rear-wheel drive to get? I have a certain budget. What do I get? So MST, we know MST has the only RTR kit, rear-wheel drive kit at the moment, which it runs basically out the box. You can make it drift. The problem I'm having is that, and this is the reason I wanted to talk about it. The part that's disappointing me so much about the new guys is that they put the car together, they charge a battery, they go out there. I don't know whether they're drifting on a track, whether they're drifting on a makeshift track, or how they're drifting, but they come back and they say, "Oh no, the car is not working. What do I do?" Ask a question on one of the groups, they get bombarded with answers. You need to check. You need to check toe. You need to check camber. Do the suspension. What oil you're running. What pistons you're running. What's your springs. What's your electronics. What's your programming on your ESC. What timing are you running. Are you running turbo or boost? What's your radio settings. How's your throttle curves. How's your braking. What servo are you using. No, you're using the wrong servo. Change to a rev D. Programmable servo. Use this gyro. It's too much of information for a new guy that hasn't yet grasped the basics of RC drifting, the basics of rear wheel drive. Only answer Perry says, only answer they need. Send me a DM and I'll help you out. I generally, and I'm sure you guys know me already, that I'm ever ready to help, but I try and teach them first before helping them. So we need to encourage or try and inculcate an atmosphere or a space of learning instead of just getting answers. By all means, yes, we need to provide the answers because we have the knowledge, because we have walked the walk. We've been through the whole process. We didn't have many guys who came before us who knew, okay, rear-wheel drive, this is what you do. Give us the answers straight away. They sort of guided us. Okay, I tried this on my car, this is what I was doing. I tried this setting. You know what? Maybe you should try that. Now here, what we're doing is we're just throwing all the information to them. And like I said, they're still new. They haven't grasped the basics of it all. So how are they going to unpack all of that information that we're just throwing at them? You get what I'm saying? Okay, so Wolf says, the problem is as well that newbies want to drift immediately. No learning is wanted. That's my point. That is my point. With the rear wheel drive, and the way it is, the way it's set up, yes, you can build up a kit straight out of the box and you'll be able to drift it. But you got to learn, firstly you got to learn how to drift, and then you got to learn what each thing does. What does your camber do? What does toe do? What does the CG do? What does the layout do? What does the balance do? Your electronics, your suspension, what do all of these things do? How does changing each item affect the performance of the car? How does one change each item in order to achieve better performance? You know? Okay, so Perry says you don't. It's like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, patience and understanding from the new guy and the teacher. Yes, but the thing is, the new guy has to want to learn as much as the teacher wants to teach. I don't think that we have any problems with people wanting to teach. We have so many guys who are ever ready to share the knowledge, but it becomes so tedious when you have guys asking uh, the same questions, but also not wanting to learn anything more beyond that. They have a problem, they want that problem fixed, and that's it, and then moved on. The thing is, the only thing that they're learning is how to fix that specific problem, and that's it. So they're not learning the proper method of problem resolution. I know I'm being very technical with the words that I'm using, but I find it that it's the only it's the only way I can explain what I'm trying to explain. Uh, I'm gonna try on my end. I'm gonna try my best to do to share the knowledge and try my best to teach guys. Look, we can't just be spoon feeding information. Yes, time to time that will happen. I totally agree with that, and even I've done that. You go directly to the problem. Okay, this is what you do, this is what you do, and that will solve the problem. But I'm gonna start to try my best to teach them that, look, uh, you have a problem, this is what you do, but this is what this does to the performance of the car. This is how you adjust it, and if you adjust it this way, you will get positive results. If you adjust it the other way, you're going to get a different kind of result. But if you make the change in a certain manner, that is in keeping with your current setup. However, if you change this item another way, this is how it's going to affect the performance of the car, but you need to make A, B, and C changes to the car, and that will fit in with this setup. So I think if we have those kinds of educational conversations, I think it will be more beneficial to the drifters, to the new guys especially. With that being said, I think a lot of the newer guys that's coming into the hobby have a very short attention span. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Um, they want to drift, and it's exactly like Wolf says. They want to drift without learning, or with not putting in too much effort. And I think it's sad that we're moving away from that way. Um, we're moving away from going through the process, giving ourselves time to learn and experience how to go about doing what we need to do. How about setting up a car? Like, why are we constantly going to the same people over and over again? Which there's nothing wrong with that. There's some really awesome guys who are really really good at setup, but for how long can we keep on going to this guy and saying, hey, you know what, my car is, it's not right. Okay, what is it doing? I don't know, it's just spinning out. Okay, but why? Have you checked this? Have you checked that? Have you checked that? No, I haven't. They're just spinning around, and I thought I'll give it to you to check it out. No, you can't keep on doing that. You, at some point, you're gonna have to say, you know what? I need to learn how this car is operating. I need to figure this thing out. I mean, doesn't it frustrate? You know, I get that some guys are not technical at all in the least and have no interest in the technical side. They just want to put battery, charge it, and go. I myself, I'm not particularly technical. I'll be honest, but I made the effort to learn the basics. Once I clicked with the basics, now I genuinely, and I tell this to everybody, I tune my car based on feel. So I know my driving style now, and I know what I want my car to do. And if it's not performing the way I want it, I know, I kind of get a feel for what's missing. And then because I've learned those basics, I know what to adjust. So I do a small adjustment here and see if it improves. Once it improves, I obviously keep going till it gets worse, then switch one back. And then I do that all around with whatever needs to be adjusted. And that's how I always, and that's how I tune my car. Okay, I just want to go back to a comment here. Petty said, and I can't quite read it clearly. Okay, I have to be honest though, the success ratio is pretty high once they came to the track and experience it in real life with good examples right in front of them. Absolutely. Agree with that 110%. And uh, and it's also something that I've told newbies. The only time you're going to learn is when you put the car on the track. At the same time, people are only going to listen to you once you show you have ability. And this is something I've learned from my friends Vivian and Cisco and Richard and Llewellyn as well. They've kind of drummed that 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 statement into my head, that in order for people to listen to you or acknowledge you, you need to show that you have the ability, which is why personally I focus so much on getting my skills up, and now I feel like I'm there. So now I'm just working on my consistency, but that's a subject for another day. uh, and again, going back to what Perry says, 100% correct. If you have good examples in front of you, the new guys will be able to follow that better and then understand. But at the same time, we need to be a little bit stern with them on the track and say, okay, you know what, you you're doing well. I'm a firm believer in positive. Uh, Damn, I just had the word on the tip of my my tongue. Positive reinforcement. That's it. So I'm a cup half full kind of guy, you know. So I prefer to see the things in a positive light. So I would say, you know, like you're doing well, but this is what you need to do. You need to focus on this, then this, then this. Okay, your car is not going well. Okay, let's have a look. Right, here's your problem here. You need to adjust this, this, and this. But when you adjust this, this is what it does. And you know, I'm going to try and be a little bit more vocal, a bit more helpful when it comes to that regard. Okay, Wolf says that's why I always recommend building a car and not just buying one. That is another good example. A good thing to remember is when you build up your own car, you're able to understand it a whole lot better, and it makes complete sense. Uh, I would suggest it to people who have a little bit of experience in RC, even if it's not drifting. But if they have a little bit of experience in RC, I think it would be a little bit better. However, you know, there's a lot of newbies who also like to get in there and work with the hands and get a bit technical and who like the technical side, and that's awesome. So we need to feed those kinds of minds with that kind of info. Then I've come across quite a few people, and I'm sure you guys have as well, where guys just want the RCR kit and that's it. They just want something that's already done where they don't need to do the work, and all they need to do is just fiddle a little bit, try a different setup, and then put it on the track, and off they go. Uh, I'm not totally against sharing setup. I think it's something that I encourage, and I think it's something that we all should do time to time is share our setup. The problem I have with sharing the setup is you have somebody that's going to copy that setup, but it doesn't suit their driving style. There have been so many occasions where, okay, I'll take myself as an example. I tried a few different setups from different people. Like I've tried a setup from my friend Cisco. I've tried a few things from my friends Vivian and Richard, and some from the Kamwadi family. And then I think I tried maybe either Hayato or Takahiro's setup. But as I went through these different setups, it didn't quite work for me. Probably because I have a very different driving style. And that's another thing to remember. Each person has their own driving style, their own way. Some people are able to adapt to any chassis, and some people are not. And some people just have their own driving style. So I tried a few of the setups, and none of them like quite 100% clicked with me, although they were very good. But what I did find was elements from these setup which suited my driving style and suited my setup. So I used that there, combined it, and now I've come up with my own personal setup, which works really well for me. And like I said earlier in my podcast, I'm able to get a lot more competitive and a lot more consistent with my drifting now. Wolf says a setup is actually something for your liking. I found that a lot of times a setup from another guy doesn't suit you. Exactly, exactly what I'm trying to say. Not every setup will suit your style. Um, the best, I think the best setup for anybody to work with is actually the factory based setup, and from there work towards your own setup, something that works for your own driving style, whether you have an aggressive driving style, or whether you like something that's a little bit more smoother, more consistent, or maybe you like something that's a little bit in between, a little bit intermediate, where you have an aggressive driving style at times, but you also like to chill and drift. So it's interesting. Hey, what's up, Arthur? Thank you for joining. For the few guys that have just joined in, this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter, where we talk about anything and everything in the world of RC drifting. Okay, so my boy Jordan says, I struggle in knowing when I need to adapt my style to suit a setup versus changing a setup for my style, especially as someone who is always learning. Um, yeah, that's a bit of a tricky one, Jordan. What I would say to you though is, um, I don't know how much you've been driving, but eventually the more you drive, you start to learn about your chassis a lot more, and then you learn where and how you want your car to perform. Uh, like if you're in a tandem and you love the chase, so you want something that's aggressive, so you'll end up changing your setup to something like that. I think it's just a matter of driving a whole lot more and working with your own chassis, and then just changing, making one small change at a time on your own. Trying not to use somebody else's setup. So after I went through my process of trying different setups and eventually settling on something that works for me, what I started doing was I'll video my laps, video my runs, and then go through it and just having a look and see, okay, where am I initiating? Is it wrong? Is it right? How does the car look? How is it performing? Does it look like I can get more grip, more traction out of it? Am I getting too much traction? What's happening with the car? And then sometimes sharing that with a few of my more learned friends. And then some of these guys are so good, like Daniel Christoph, for example. This guy is amazing. He had one look at one video, just one, and immediately he was able to tell me exactly what was wrong with my car. He told me what I need to change, and believe me, it wasn't massive changes. It was really small changes. I did it, and immediately my performance went up. The car stopped doing the negative stuff that it was doing, like spinning out randomly on a wide sweep, that kind of thing. So whatever setup you have at the moment, drive it. Just drive it, and you will adapt to it, and then eventually what will happen is you'll try and do something a little bit different with your car, maybe pushing it a little harder, that kind of thing, whatever it is, or maybe just wall riding and trying to have the car just on the wall throughout that sweep you know so and then eventually you'll say, okay, I need the car to do this, but this is what it's doing. This is my setup. Then somebody more learned than you will tell you, okay, your car is spinning out, or your car is not getting enough traction because of this. Maybe widen your track, and then or maybe just add a little bit of drag brake, for example, or maybe it might be something so simple as changing the offset of your wheels, and it will immediately help, and that will help you develop further your own driving style. Yes, Ackerman, is your front end geometry is so important. I just want to go back to something that Jordan asked. Okay, what tuning technique made the biggest difference in your success as a drifter? Mine was tuning Ackerman. That that's a pretty difficult question for me to answer, because uh, there were so many things that I had needed to do to get my car right. I think that I had reached a point where I was able to drift, but mechanically my car was not sound. So the setup on the car wasn't 100%, and time to time I find myself like exactly like what I said, like spinning out randomly and stuff, simply because I was just missing some little setup, something so minute that I couldn't pick up by myself, and I needed somebody else's eyes to point it out to me and tell me, look, this is what's wrong. You change that, you'll be fine. Um, so yeah, I think perhaps it was bad practice habits where the car wasn't 100%, but I still worked with it and still tried to run it properly. So I was actually adjusting to bad setup. But once I got the setup right, everything clicked. So that's where I am now. It was just a whole lot of practice. Uh, but if I have to think back and actually point out or pick out a moment where everything changed, I think it would have to be right around the time I went to Worlds, and the few moments after that once I came back. I think because of experiencing the world's atmosphere and being amongst so many talented RC drifters and getting help from all of them, and then just watching them work, and then just listening to the conversations, and just asking them a few small questions. Okay, how do you go about doing this and that, and what does this do, and how do you tune these things here? I think that made me focus a lot more on my setup and driving and what is it exactly that I'm doing. I think that's the moment where everything changed. The moment I actually applied myself and focused on what I was doing. I think that's a moment, that's the biggest thing that actually made a difference or in my success. Really, really. It was that moment that I made the choice to apply myself. I said, "Look, I'm gonna focus on getting my drifting right. I'm tired of being at the bottom of the barrel, and that's not good enough for me. Obviously, I aim to be the best, but naturally, you can't always be the best. But what you can be is the best that you can be." The best of your ability. Be the best that you can be. It's such a cliche saying, be the best that you can be, but what does it mean? What does it really mean? I mean, we just say it, but do we really know what that means? Being the best that you can be. It means giving your all, putting your full focus into what you are doing. And when the opportune moment comes across, you apply your whole self, your full concentration and focus, and whatever comes out of that, the result of that is the best that you could do at that time. And I think that's what it means to be the best that you can be. Whatever you choose, go all out. I'm just going to go back a little bit here. Okay. Oh, how I hope it happens again. I just wasn't at a place to afford it at the time. Okay, yeah, man. We're also hoping for another World Championship. Planet 2022 Jordan. Ooh, interesting. Jordan would be a very, very cool place to visit. Yeah, so that's pretty much uh, all of what I wanted to chat about, plus more. I don't mind spending a few more minutes with you guys. It's really awesome being with you guys here. Oh. Hey James, what's up, man? I will check that PM just now. Oh, you see, Perry, this is what I call a HAIBO moment. Oh no, see, I'm getting all my wires crossed here. We got Perry talking to Jordan, then we got James talking to Jordan, and then I'm thinking we're talking about the place Jordan. What is going on? I'm sorry, maybe it's the time, maybe it's a bit too late. But anyway, thank you all for clearing that up and making me feel less of a or more of a fool. I take it in my style, man. It's all good. But anyway, I was just about to come to my next point, which I'm going to need everybody's help about this. So in the next few weeks or the next few episodes, or maybe um, what I'd really like to do is pay attention to one thing per episode. So in the following episodes, until however many I cover, I am going to do a little expose on the drift tracks from around the world. So if you would like me to do a little expose on your drift track, please send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to do a little expose on your track, give your track more attention, more awareness, and promote you guys track a little bit more. So I have a few already uh, that I'm lining up. Like uh, I'm going to start off locally first, then move overseas. So first one, obviously, I'm going to do my track, which is the Ryujin Drift Circuit here in Durban. So gonna give you guys a little bit of history into the track. And talk about it a little bit, where it's situated, and what's been going on, what's the latest there. Second, I'm going to do is EDC, which is the Edendale Drift Circuit, which is in up in Joburg. That's where a lot of my really good friends are. I think in Cape Town there's a track there, or there's a track coming up. So I'm just gonna find out from the guys there what's up and bring you guys some news there. Then I got, obviously we got Tory Circuit, um, Dory Lounge, which I'm gonna do. Then we got some tracks in the UK. Why am I forgetting all these tracks all of a sudden now? It's crazy. I want to try and do a few tracks out of Japan as well. The one that comes to mind is RCC. Ah, thanks, Gesham. Really appreciate it, man. Really, really appreciate it. So, just for the guys that out there, Gesham Francis is a very, very good friend of mine who I worked with many years ago for an architectural company, and we've been in touch for a very, very long time. So we're talking like probably 12, 13 years, maybe, round about there. Yeah, we've come a long way. So yeah, a few tracks out in Japan, RCC. Um, I'm gonna try and do a little bit about Yatabe. Let's see who else. Uh, Doctor Circuit. Um, RC Iroha. I'm gonna try and get in contact with them, but let's see if they wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about their tracks. And yeah, I think it would be nice. The only thing we know about the tracks out in Japan is from the videos that we watch. Oh yeah, James is the man. James has been touring that place like it's his second home, so he knows exactly. Sweet man, thank you very much for the offer. I mean, if you don't mind, really, I mean, it's content that you might want to keep for your own podcast. So, I really really appreciate the help that you're offering with these. And I think for some throwbacks and some nostalgic memories, I definitely think we should do an expose on Soul RC. I know when I was first starting off in drifting, Soul RC was one of the first tracks that I've been um, that I used to watch. Oh yes, please. That'll be so awesome, man. It'll just be like short little interviews. I just have some questions lined up for them, and they don't have to be in front of the camera or whatever it is, or if they want to record something. But yeah, that'll be so awesome, man. I'd really really appreciate it. Hey Ricky out in the US. Shout out Ricky. Oh yeah, you know, I almost forgot. Ricky, hope you feeling better, bro. I know you had a bit of an issue recently, and I'm so glad that you are around, and you look like, or you sound like you're doing a lot better. So yeah, strength and praise to you, man. Just focus a little bit on yourself, bro. Hope you're feeling better. Um, just to fill Ricky in, I've been talking about doing an expose on drift tracks from around the world. So I Jordan, I think has a track, like I said. So I think something on that scale science track will be nice for the guys out in the US. I'm sure there's guys that still don't know what's going on there. Oh, then there's also the name eludes me. I got the name on the tips of my tongue again. But Joey Tam, Joey Tam runs Super G. There we go, Super G circuit. I think that'll be cool. Do a little expose on it. So as you can see, I have a few tracks in mind already to do some expose on. I think you guys will really enjoy that, and hopefully by then some of my new gear will come through. I can't wait for that to come because it means I'm going to give you guys a better show. I'm not going to have stupid issues with my phone and going live again. I'll be able to go live properly and probably be able to stream on multi platforms. Oh, hopefully, so that's going to be really cool. Uh, and then I'd be able to do a much better show, especially when it comes to things like a drift expose. So I'm sure you guys will enjoy it, and I hope you guys will. And I hope you guys will join me when I do those exposes. And then we'll take it from there. I'll keep you guys in the loop, and we'll and I'm sure you guys, everybody's going to join in. So just to remind everybody, the last few guys that have joined in, this is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. Thank you once again to everybody for joining in. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor and a privilege to be doing this podcast for you guys. I know we had a very, very rocky start in the beginning. It's actually ridiculous how bad it was. So I had to switch to FB to continue the show. But it's going to get better. Don't you worry, guys. It's going to be a lot better. Just to do a quick recap, we spoke a little bit about the D5, the pre-production design versus the post-production or the actual production product that was launched. I spoke a little bit about the comments that Jackie from 3 Racing had made with regards to why the difference. It stemmed from a conversation I had earlier on with a few guys, like how come like why is it different to what it is now. So the picture that I posted was in part of the original design renderings, and I said the actual D5 that we wanted. I mean, we were so hyped from the IFS to the high motor mount, that wrap up neck style motor mount to what we have now, to the RR, and then we went over all those things there. Then I went over the new term that we're going to use to describe anything that's so crazy, so out there, that it leaves us speechless. So we have one word to describe that: HAIBO. Remember that. You're going to use that all over. Where somebody asks a ridiculous question, we'll say HAIBO. And we start scratching our head because it's so crazy. So, and then we spoke a little bit. I just wanted to give a shout out to the guys doing the waffles, who's giving back to the community via things like this raffles and the waffles, and go out there and supporting them, like guys like Aspo RC, Dale Clemens, guys like Mike Munoz who's doing the Ronin waffles, and then a shout out to my boy Young. Okay, and we got Takahashi-san who just joined it. Thank you very much for joining in. Really appreciate it. Perhaps you can give some info about what's going on in Japan. Oh man, Japan. I'm sure everybody would have got the news or must have seen the news already about what happened at Ebusu circuit and how it was decimated by that earthquake there, man. More important than the circuit, I hope everybody's okay in that in those areas there out in Japan. Um, I think it's one of those moments where we're all feeling it. Because we love motorsport so much and we love drifting so much. So to see that amount of damage and carnage done to uh, such a historic circuit like Ebusu, it makes all of our hearts sing, hearts sing, makes our hearts cry, and it's just left everybody, just a little bit saddened. I can't think of any drifter out there who doesn't have some sort of affinity towards Ebusu and who wants to visit Japan. We all wanna, like, I wanna go there and drift with a real car, hire it out, or whatever it is you can do to go out there and drift. I want to do that, and I'm sure a lot of you want to do that. Um, so yeah, I hope that they are able to recover from it, and I hope that they're able to rebuild the track uh, so that people can go out there again and enjoy the track. And to see all those cars damaged, oh man, send one car to me. Just send it, ship it over, whatever it is. Just an 86, an SX, whatever it is. Just please ship one drift car over to me, so that I can begin my drift career. I would absolutely love to go drifting, to get into uh, the real drift scene. I'm friends with a number of drifters, and uh, I don't know how it is out there uh, in overseas, but this side it's like super hard and super expensive to get into drifting. I don't even know where to start, really. I know the guys that's into drifting, that does drifting here in SA, but like, I mean, to just to get a car, even if it's a grassroots level car to start drifting, is so difficult here, so difficult, and because it's not so massive as it is elsewhere, to find the guys that to help you build a drift car is difficult. So, but uh, there's nothing wrong with dreaming, because that's a thing that uh, gets you places, and it gets you motivated and gets you up in the morning. You, you always have a dream or a goal or something to keep you going, and that's what you gets you up in the morning. Hey, that rhymes. You saw what I did there. Get an old city golf. Dude, I have an old city golf, but you can't drift an old city golf. Drive in reverse. Really now. I will not do that to my old city golf. It's too precious to me. So I've been talking for a minute, and I think I've done enough of that. Thank you once again to everybody for joining into today's episode of the B Rock RC Show, Season 2, Episode 4. Thank you very much. Let's see, never plan to start drifting with a fancy car, but just a stock car with a good seat and basic diff will teach you loads. Dude, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not even looking for any fancy car. I'm just trying to find a car to start drifting. But yeah, I hope, like I said, we gotta keep dreaming in order to keep us getting up in the morning and get us motivated. Hey, Rich, I see you there, buddy. I need to just have a conversation with you about Dory Lounge. I hope I'll message you. I'd like to do a little expose on your track. No, 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 not at all. I wasn't going to start with the the expose today. No, no, no. It's going to be in the episodes to come. The idea is to just do an expose on tracks from around the world each episode. So yours is one of the first I've thought of actually. So what I want to do is start off locally here in SA with my track, the one in Johannesburg, the one that's closer to where Vivian is, uh, and then start off like if I'm looking at the globe, I start off on my left, so that'll be the west, and that'll be from the US, and I want to work myself uh, through there from the west to the east. So, but it all depends on how I receive the info, and then I'll just get a feel for it. So maybe mix it up. But yeah, yours is one of the first tracks I want to do. Maybe your wife will chop off your head. Oh my God, she will absolutely not like it too much, to be fair. But the one thing that I do first and foremost is make sure my family is taken care of, make sure my household is in order, bills are paid, cupboards are filled with food, the kids are happy, the wife is happy. Then I go about my day, and then I go about um, with my hobby. And I really appreciate my wife for giving me the time and space to do, uh, to indulge myself in a hobby and also to do this podcast. Although she hasn't made any mention of it, but she's not quite that kind of person. Uh, but at the same time, she doesn't get in my way of doing my hobby and doing the podcast, which I really really appreciate. She gives me such space that I have zero complaints. She's an amazing person. She's also very hardworking, a great mom, and like all the other drifter wives and mothers out there, she does a great job. Like, great life so far. I'm gonna log out. Yeah, man. You keep well, my bro. And we'll chat soon again. So, yeah, like I said, I've been talking for a minute, and I think I've reached the end of my podcast for today. Uh, I'm also running out of ideas of what to what to talk about. So if you guys want me to hang around a little bit, maybe there's something you want to chat about, or maybe you want to ask me a question, please feel free to go ahead. I don't mind hanging around for a few minutes, so let me know. You guys have any questions? Okay, I'll show you guys my body again. I'm still busy with it, but it really did come out. I'm really, really proud of this one. Sorry, the light and the glare is not working too well. But I think the color is amazing. I'm very impressed with the color. I think I went about it the right way. Some of the guys here who actually do amazing paint work gave me some good tips about how to how to go about spraying the body, how to make sure that I have consistent uh, consistent paint consistency. So it was all cool. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Thank you all for joining in on today's episode of the B Rock RC Show. This is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show once again, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. Keep well, guys. Stay safe. We want to see you again, and catch me next time on. Okay, well, just before I leave, there's somebody who's come with a question. Bhavnesh, he says, "Hi, can you start drifting with the TTO2 all-wheel drive?" Okay, so I'm going to give you some advice, which I give all the new guys and beginners out in SA, whoever speaks to me. You can technically start drifting with the TTO2. There's a couple minor mods that you need to do to it, like you need to lock the rear diff and then eventually maybe lock the front diff, depending. Get yourself a good set of drift tires on, and then there's some basic drift practices that you need to do in order to develop the drift technique, like figure eights, circles around the cone, etc., etc. Those kinds of practices. All-wheel drive in at the moment, there's basically no all-wheel drive anymore, and I say that in inverted commas. Um, However, it is a great way for you to pick up the hobby and start getting to understand what drifting is, understanding about uh, throttle technique, about initiating a drift, and things like that. So, if you want more info, if you want more help, you got me on Facebook. You can message me anytime, and I will help you out as much as possible. So I think that answers everything there. Hopefully, if you have any more questions, just DM me. But thank you, everybody, once again for joining into the B Rock RC show. This is your boy Bob Rock, and this is me signing off. You can catch me same time, same place for the next episode. So that's a Monday at 9:30. I will inform everybody once I get my stuff sorted out. But until then, I will be live on Facebook. I'm not going to try going on trying to stream onto YouTube again. Is just a mess. But what I will do is put the podcast onto my YouTube channel, the way I've been doing with season 1. Is it possible to convert it to a rear wheel drive? Possible, yes. Should you? Hell no. It's too much of a mission, and you're never going to get it 100% correct. If you're going to go rear wheel drive, it's better that you get a dedicated rear wheel drive chassis. If you get a brushless electronic combo for your TTO2, just get yourself a rear wheel drive car and transfer all of that, work with that, and then slowly upgrade what you need from there. That's the best possible solution for you, and the best way for you to go about it. Really, don't waste your time converting a TTO2 into rear wheel drive. It's just going to be a pain in the butt, and it's going to take you too long. It's going to cost you too much, whereas the same money, time, and effort can be used in a genuine dedicated rear wheel drive chassis. So you rather do that. Thank you once again to everybody for joining in. For the guys that just joined in, I'm so sorry. We actually ending the podcast now, but you can catch the live stream later once it uploads, and you can rewatch everything. I'm also going to upload this episode onto YouTube, so you can catch all of it right there. No, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. And again, you got me as a contact. Anytime you message me, I'm always there, always answer. And if anybody needs any help, just give me a shout. I will share my knowledge with you. Whatever I've learned, I will share with you. So this is me signing off the B Rock RC show. Thank you once again to everybody for joining in. Really appreciate the support. Stay safe and keep drifting alive. Also, support your local hobby shop and a local track. Local is lekker. Peace.